I was a kid, I remember my father telling me all the ways I should work hard, get good grades, and find a good job. And that's not just my personal story. We all know this way our parents try to teach us about life. It's probably also yours and the stories of 99% of the people who will watch this video. Well, Robert Kiyosaki's book, Why A Students Work for C Students, convinced me that this idea is just not true. In reality, it's not the A students who make a lot of money, but the C students. People who got an A in school often fail in life, while people who got a B or lower often go on to do well. If you look at students in school or college, most of them come from families where both parents work or are specialists, like doctors, lawyers, or engineers. These children are likely to follow in their parents' footsteps. It might seem fine, especially if they'll be making a lot of money. But I'll tell you what will keep most of them in the rat race. Unfavorable tax laws. Let's look at an example to show how this works. If you work as a doctor or engineer and make, say, $200,000 a year, you can expect that about half of that money will go to taxes. So, the people who work for a paycheck are the ones who pay the most taxes. There is a serious problem with people who make a lot of money and live in a lavish lifestyle. These people take on a lot of debt, like mortgages, credit card debts, lifestyle loans, and 2 or more cars. Add this to the fact that these people are spending more than they have, and you can see that there is an impending economic collapse coming soon. So, you can see that the economic system is not designed to help employees get rich and escape the rat race. The economic system is designed to reward producers and punish consumers. It does this through the use of price mechanisms, inflation, taxes, etc. So, if that's you, I guess you'll end up broke like most people who rely on their good job and benefits. If you think you're rich, just because you earn a good living, you must be crazy. That's the problem with people who work for someone else or are self-employed. Because they pay most of the taxes, they can't get ahead financially, no matter how hard they work. Up to 60% of their gross income goes to taxes for self-employed people. Business owners and investors are on the other side of the equation. They don't play the same game as people who work for someone else or on their own. People on this side pay the least taxes, sometimes nothing at all. They don't stand out as extra smart or good students. Some of them didn't go to college. These people are clever, because they understand how money works. They know that if they want to get ahead, they need to get assets, and cut down on their debts. An asset is anything that brings in money for you, whether or not you work. On the other hand, a liability costs you money every month. So, they try to get more assets over the course of their lives instead of a bigger paycheck or a raise at work. Now, this goes against everything you've been taught and trained to do as an A student. In the same way, you must think your home is an asset because that's what you learned in school. And since you are an A student, you have been well taught the false rules of money and know how to use them. If you look at a simple cash flow statement, you might realize that your house is not really an asset at all. In fact, it is your biggest liability because it doesn't bring you any money and costs you money every month in the form of a mortgage, property taxes, and other costs. It doesn't mean that it can't become a good thing. Let's say you find a cheap place to live and rent your house out. This brings in a few $100s a month. In this case, your house is an asset because it brings in money for you. So, the rich do one thing, they keep adding to their assets, like businesses, real estate, stocks, commodities, and other things. Whether they work or not, these assets keep giving them money every month. So, rich people don't work for money because time is limited and money equals time. But people in the middle class only make money from their high-paying jobs as doctors, lawyers, and engineers. Then they have all of these debts that they think are assets. This makes them look rich on the outside, but it keeps them poor and drains them financially. When they stop working, they lose all of their income. This is not a good strategy, since it only has a single point of failure. You lose your job, and you're done. But I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with working a job. Starting with a salary job and working slowly but steadily to move to the other side of the quadrant is not a problem at all. I know that when you graduate, you want to move to a new house, and buy a new car, but if you keep doing that, you'll just keep adding to your debts and never get rich. Good students are not used to failing, which is another thing that sets the A students apart from C students. Because of this, they are afraid to take any kind of risk. They are scared to invest their money, because they don't want to lose it. So, they will keep adding to their debts by getting a safe and secure job with a company that was built by a C student who failed many times before making this business successful. This is, in short, why the A students work for C students. So, when your parents tell you to go to school, study hard, get a good job, and buy a new house, they're basically telling you to study harder, so you can end up working for a C student who failed a few times and get paid a few pennies for it. They aren't telling you that to hurt you or because they don't love you. They are telling you this because that is how the poor and middle class think. They were taught to do it. But now that you know everything we talked about in this video, you can start building businesses and learning how to invest. It's your way to make money and really become wealthy in life. Okay, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please click the notification bell, and like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.